Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. This is the second part. We're going to do it really quick because most of the pairs are, they're in line, and we'll see how fast we can do this, and then we'll go. So if you're seeing this for the first time, go back to my YouTube channel, watch the first part. There's a lot of very good information in the first part that you might want to watch, and there's a lot of very good YouTube videos there for you, to watch. So let's go. Let's start with Bitcoin. So remember, we broke the low, and I was explaining about Bitcoin in the first webinar. If you want, is that when you're looking at the low, you don't know exactly where the low is. And let me repeat that part. Yeah, I think all of you heard the saying, buy low, sell high, right? So when it's at the top, you're selling the top, you're buying the bottom. But here's the question: who the hell knows where the bottom is? Do you know that this is the bottom for sure? This could have been the bottom. You don't know that, right? And because you don't know that, you have to have something to gauge you what you're looking at, whether that's the bottom or not. And we use pattern for that, right? If we have a certain pattern that we see repeat themselves, we know how these patterns behave, we know where they can turn, and you know where they can turn, not exactly where they're going to turn. So you're looking at pattern and you're saying, okay, if it does this, I will do this. And literally, I think you would have remembered when we were looking at this piece. I said, this is not the one that is going to go up. That this would probably come here, maybe go back up there, become a complex pattern, then drop, and then go back up. Because when you see this in this, you have to break out of it before you go back. That's just the rule. Like you have this, right? You get one, you get two, you get three. You get one, you get two, you get three. You're always this flat at the bottom. We knew we were going to break the low before we go back up. So now at this point, it can turn to go up. And I don't think this one is the one. Can we look at this as a big expanding flat that totally go up? You can look at it two ways. This is a big expanding flat and this thing just totally takes off. No, I don't think it's that. Again, let me explain. I don't think it's that. And there are many reasons for that. We're not going to discuss that here because that's a whole 6 weeks course. But just to give you a very good idea what I think is going to happen. If this is the start of the up move, we're probably going to get here. We might come back down here and then we will go. So we could be in a consolidation in this range and even lower, going lower into this level for about the next couple of years before you actually get that. But it's tradable within the range. It's a huge range you can trade. We actually took a buy already that was closed, right? That I wouldn't call it a profitable buy. I would say that's your first attempt that didn't go. And that's okay. With me, that's okay. With our traders, that's okay. So our first buy was buying this consolidation, see whether this was going to take off. It didn't, and you close the trade. Literally, you close the trade here. Did my traders buy back here? Some of them might have, then they would have closed the trade here, right? Now you can see that there's a good possibility that we could look at this as a 1, 2, 3, make a running flat here and go up. So we would look for a buy here or we look for a flag in here to go, right? That would be a buy setup. So if you're long-term, even if you're long-term, let's say you're investing in Bitcoin, you like Bitcoin, you want to keep Bitcoin, you don't have to hold it all the time. That's you see the advantage of wave analysis is it gives you an advantage of when you can get in, when you need to get the hell out, and when you can buy back if you're wrong. So I would say we would look for, if this proves what we think it is, we'd look for a buy here or we'd look for a flag here to buy. If we're wrong about it when it breaks the stop and it starts to come back down, we'll close the trade just like this one. We bought this, we were wrong about this taking off, you close the trade. Which means it didn't go exactly the way you were forecasting it to go. You said, okay, can it take off? We don't know that it's going to take off, but it could. And we've seen that when you got a small flag like this, and the next one is a spike like that. Then you said, oh, good, this is the one I'm keeping. And this would be your long-term trade that you stay with. And in this case, you don't have to stay with it. So let's say we buy this. Let's say it does that. And at this point, it starts to fall. You don't need to stay with it because when it breaks the low, you buy back the same thing much cheaper rather than buy it here. You buy it here now. You have your money back with you and you can buy it much cheaper at a lower price because it still will go up. It will go up. There's a 99% chance this thing is going to go up, just like there was a 99% chance of this coming down from the top here, right? The same thing would have happened when we were at the top here, when we were saying, be careful when you break that top, you're going to drop. So let's say the first one you bought, didn't you sold. Let's say, what, it broke the top, you sold. It didn't go, you want to buy back here for this up move? You could do that, you'll sell it back here again. So let's say you thought this was going to go more, you sell it here, you can buy back in here. And say, okay, let's see if this takes off because this was a consolidation. Didn't go, sell it, look for the, let it come back. You could have bought here, you could have bought there. Many places you could have buy and then exit them as long as they don't go. And we have done that on some other trade, on some other pairs. And we bought this, so that you know, we bought this one here. And that didn't go. Well, we closed the trade. I think there was a buy here. If you can see, there's a small flag here. There was a buy here. This one didn't go. Close the trade. I didn't think we bought this because we couldn't figure out what this was doing. This looks like it was mostly going to go there, so we didn't. But if you were out of the trade and you wanted to buy it, you can buy it back right here. The same goes here. I think this is going to take off. Just like, see this consolidation, we're making one here. We're making consolidation here. So I'm looking for a buy. If this is not the one that goes there, and it's probably going to go like this, not in a straight line. If that is not the one to go, we get out, we wait for it to drop, we buy lower. You're not looking for a sell. This is a bottom. You don't sell at the bottom. If you're trading very, very short term, this forecast is not for you. This forecast is if you're more or less medium term, long term, spot trade in a daily. If you're trading scalp on a 5-10 minutes, then this is not for you. That's a different trade. That's a different strategy, different whole thing. So I would look at this now as a running flat for upside. Now, all the details is in Bitcoin because all the other cryptos have similar patterns. I'm not saying that they're correlated or they move the same way. I don't know that. I know some people who follow it thinks Bitcoin is leading the way for all of them. I do not believe that because it is not true to any other charts that I look at. And I don't think it is true to the cryptos, unless you decide that all of this is being coordinated by somebody. That's the only way I would look for some kind of correlation. Otherwise, so that they're individual coins. Some will collapse, some will go. So I would look at patterns individually. But sometimes they all have the same pattern or similar patterns. So ETH, similar pattern. Same thing, we bought this one, we closed it, we bought it, we closed it, we're looking at this. I think that's a running flat for upside. What if it's going to drop? Again, I don't care about a sell. If I want to sell it, I'll let it break here, make a flag here, and then I'll sell. So if I'm a short-term trader, I'll wait for a flag sell, get the hell out of it within a couple hours. Right now, this buy closed. Look for a buy above the top or a flag when it turns. XRP, similar pattern. This would be more of a regular flat. I think this is a more short flat pattern. See when this break here, if you bought here, you closed it. You actually closed it here, or you will look at this coming down. You take break even. It comes to the bottom here. We can look for a next up move. Can this be 1, 2, 3? I don't think so. We didn't even break that up. So I believe we're just in the consolidation. I think we're pretty much in a consolidation there that will go up. So this would probably consolidate, break this low, and then go back. Look for the buy setup. And I think they all have that, right? We bought quite a lot of them that will be closing. Now, this looks like a consolidation of its own, but I'll probably go with a running flat here, probably come back like this, and then go put your entry for the buy here. What if it drops here, make a flag? Well, you can consider selling or wait to buy at the bottom here again. Those are your options. As long as you understand how to trade this thing, it's pretty easy. And I will just go through all of them because you can see the patterns, right? You don't even need me to tell you. If you can't see the patterns, join the group. You'll learn how to see the patterns correctly. This one is slightly different. So this one is pretty sharp like this was, but you're getting a correction here. So this could literally drop deeper to the bottom here. So if you want to sell, this is the one you can sell. When it breaks this low, see how far they go, because this could come here, go back there, and then drop. I don't know if it doesn't become a flat. It could be this is all the correction, some possible running flat, and this one drops through the bottom. So this is slightly different. This one is telling me there's a chance it could go down. It could also be they're making a flat to go up. It could be you would wait for it to break the low, put an entry here, wait for a flag on the way up. Those are the options. Those are how we would trade it, right? Dash. Well, this one is pretty easy. This one is pretty sharp, and this is the most corrective part in it. So this looks like a flat for upside. What if it drops to the bottom? Who the hell cares? Again, focus on your direction that has the bigger risk to reward. Don't focus on the sell. This thing sells, it's already at the bottom. There's no big sell here for you to get. If you want to make a lot of money in it, you want the big moves, and the big move is almost finished. Now, can we break this low? We can. Does it have to break the low? Well, not necessary. There's no need for that low to be broken. It could go up from here. This is the B part we're in. I don't think we have anything to match this in the past. So we'll go with that as the B part, which means it doesn't have to break the low. Come back in the 4 hour. If this is the up move, you should be in it. If it's a sell, you just let it break the low and then look for another buy setup. Pretty simple, right? So put an entry order for a buy here. or wait for a better entry and a flag on the lower time frame going up. I'm in the 4 hour. You can go in the 1 hour. Wait for it to break this low here, not this low, wait for a turn, wait for a flag, buy it. It all depends on your skill level, your understanding of patterns, and you're not buying into another consolidation that is getting more, making a more complex pattern. So if you don't know that and you don't know complex patterns, you probably don't do what I just said. You probably don't even trade it because you have no idea how to manage these trades. Link? Okay, we did break the top. And this one looks very corrective, so this could drop a lot, but there's a high chance that it's still a running flat, since every one of them has a possible running flat or a flat. So the sell, let it drop. The buy, you should take it. And I don't know, I can go through all of them. It's pretty much the same thing. This one is easier. This one didn't break the top, so see? Well, it slightly break the top. It's a buy. It probably will go a little lower. This one is classical almost with this correction in the middle and everything. And this sharp move here is like a giveaway. That is the giveaway. Now, is it only going to be one more impulse up? Well, good for you. You'll still make profit. If it starts to drop, you get the hell out of it. If it takes off like a rocket, you'll call me and buy the course. That's what you're going to do, right? So let's go. Autumn. This one is a little different. This one, some of them, a few of them have this pattern that are not really running flat. See the difference between this classical one here and this one is that this has more correction. This is really sharp. So this could come here and go back up, but it could also break the low and then go back up. So you'd have to treat it differently. You'd have to look for different strategies to trade it. Well, this is a headache. So probably stay out of this thing. I don't know. I don't follow the news in them, but some of my traders who followed said there's some issue with it. One of my traders, right? I think I can't remember some issue with it. I'll just put it very short. Some issue, and that's why it's like that. Just I would say stay away from it. We probably even take it off if my traders agreed it. We'll probably take it off today because it's useless. I wouldn't advise you to trade on this. I'm in a 1 hour and this thing is doing that. Wait for a really good reason to trade it. So probably we'll just take this off for now. Yeah. We'll come back to that later. And you can trade it on the 5 minutes and 15 minutes at the bottom here. Within it, it's actually doing this on the 5 and 15. But I don't think, unless you have the skill level to do that, I wouldn't advise doing it. So which one I was on the Luna? I have to go. Which one did I was? We finished. We were in this one now, right there. This has the same pattern. 1 hour impulse up. You're probably making a flat here. This is a classical flat for the upside. So let's hope that this works. This is the one you're going to go with. It's a buy setup. You might want to look at some of them for possible contracting flats, which means just put the entry before it breaks the low, and that would help. Right? This one is classical. I think this one is almost perfect. See, it kind of do this. It very sharp move. We bought this. We close the trade. We put an entry there. It comes here. Go back up. You close the trade because now it has to come back down to go above. So it would come here, and then you're looking for a buy. Either you get a flag here or you buy it above the top. So this would be a flat. Now, that's the simplest of pattern 1, 2, 3. It could make 4, it could make 5, it could make 6, it could come back all the way to the bottom. All of this is not relevant to you if you're trying to look for the buy above the top. Take this out. That would have closed for small profit, but that's not what we're looking for. Where would this take you? Let's run through this one because I like it. Pretty much take you back to the top. That's about it. Right? Take you back to the top. It can still come down. Can we look at this as a 1, 2, 3? Let's say 1, 2, 3. Absolutely. This one has the biggest correction in it. This one does have a correction here, but it's not the biggest. This is the biggest. So this could totally go up and break this top and probably still continue to go. Right? Or it could come here, come back down here, and then go, which means it could become more complex. It all depends on how this goes up. Actually, if it is going to do this, this one will go really fast. If it goes really slow, then we're in a more complex pattern. So this one is a good one. I actually like this. This is, right? Is it going to go? Well, that's not our problem. Our problem is find the pattern, put the trade on, and then you manage it. So if it makes one move only, let's say it just comes here and do this, and it starts to come down, well, you have to get the hell out of it. We'll probably do that somewhere here. We might even sell it from there because from here to here, there's risk to reward. But from where it is now, not that great. And by the way, we also bought this and closed it. So that I just showed you, by the way. So let me go. And all of them, I think we bought quite a lot of them that you might have closed. This one you bought here, and if you closed it here and you buy it here and you close it back there, that's good. This is a nice consolidation. That's upside, right? Can it drop lower? Well, if it drops lower, you wouldn't worry about it, but it's a very nice buy setup actually. Now let's see where this will take us. You have to be careful. We don't have anything for this one, and I'm not very tempted to put it like this, right? I'm not tempted to put it like this for the running flat because I don't see this peak as a 1, 2, 3, but we can relook at that. So what I'll do is I'll leave it like this, the way we have it for now. And this sharp move is not fitting anywhere. So if this gives you a sharp move like this and start to go back down, break the low again before it go, we will go with this as a running flat. Now, can I take this as 1, 2, 3? No, I don't like that idea. I think it's more possible that this could belong to this one here. I don't like that either. So we'll just wait. If you don't have a pattern that is making sense, just wait some more. I think this could come here, go back up like that, make a new low, and then go up. But take the trade. It's a very good trade to buy, right? And then we'll see what happens from there. You're definitely going to get profit, not just break even. Can this drop more? Well, it could, but then who cares? You're not looking for the sell. If you're looking for the sell, that's a different story. This one also same thing, same pattern, same stuff, upside, and let's go. I think the last two would be pretty much the same thing. Yep, and yes, right? So only about 2 of them does not have a buy setup, clear buy setup. They have sell setups. So watch those 2 or don't trade them. Look at these and keep the idea. I like them. These are very good 1-hour flags. You could even call them 4-hour consolidation if you look at a 4-hour and they're there. All right, so these are very good buy setups. Just like this was a very good sell setup if you wanted to sell. So the buy here, take the trade. They're all at the bottom point, so they could go up from here. Let me go through this pretty quick. Natural gas. You might still get a buy setup here. You could go with the trade. The entry's at the top. So if it pulls back here, don't worry about it. We're just making a bigger consolidation for upside. Can it drop, make a new low? Well, you will not be. It could, but you're not trading that. We don't know that. That's it, right? Okay, so this is doing exactly what we wanted to do. Classical. I think you got it. We expect this to go up some more. It doesn't necessarily have to because we broke the stop for my traders. That's a rule, right? But it could go. So if you're going to buy into this, you will have to be really, really, really careful. If not, leave it, let it go. Look for the downside. That is this one. Look for the upside and then the drop. We've got a perfect flat there, and this already is completed itself. It can go more, but the requirements are there. So I'll avoid the buyer. You'll have to take it with caution. And then probably if we stay in this range, and I don't think they're going to break the top, I'm not expecting, we don't forecast running flats, right? You don't know if it's going to break the top, make a running flat, or so it's possible. But be careful with the buys now because the consolidation is here. Any sell setup is good. Same for UK oil. Did UK oil break the top too? Nope, UK oil didn't break the top, so this could still go somewhere. PayPal. Okay, this one didn't go. If you get a buy setup here, take it. Any buy setup you get now, you should take, because if they're going to make a sudden spike, that would be okay. If it just does this and start to come back down for a running flat here, take off the trade. Right? At any time they start to go up, you want the trade. Tesla was dropping. Let's see. Yeah, it's consolidating. I think this is a consolidation for a sell. So you sold there, you close here. You can still keep this if you want, or you can close it, take profit. We did break the low, so this is where I'll be careful. Right, we broke the low, and once the low is broken, you can turn back to the upside. So if you get buy setups now, take these off. If you get buy setup on the 1 hour, you can take the trade. Right, so if we get buy setup, we can take it. It's either a bigger consolidation or a move back to the top. Right, and actually that could be an impulse because this consolidation might finish, depending on how you look at it, or it could still consolidate. Amazon, but it's coming back to the top if you get a buy setup. Amazon, you could start to look for buy setup too. We did come pretty low. Those were good sell setups. Now it can turn from this point just to go back up, not necessarily reversal, but go back up. Can it turn from here, reverse? It possibly could. Right, so this one is finished. Take that off. This sell is over. You can take profit out of that already, and you can take profit out of this already. Now, if this becomes a bigger consolidation, we'll sell again. If this here becomes a bigger consolidation, we'll sell again. But if they are going back up, like this, yeah, it's okay. That makes sense. Could it be a much bigger B wave forming there now? Who cares? We'll look at it. It's buy setup, right? So if you get a buy setup here, we should take the trade. Let's go into 1 hour. Yep, you might be getting a flag here, which is worth taking. This was kind of a pullback. Check it under 15, let them pull back like this and then go. But if it pulls back too deep, then it will be a sell. But right now, it's kind of a buy setup. It's a small flag. You can take it, take the trade, manage it. Let's go. US 30. Okay, it's pulling back a lot. We're going down, but it's pulling back a lot. This would have been a sell, and I think by then you would have closed it because you had like 10 hours to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours to do that, not counting the green candle up to get the hell out of it. It's not going. Okay, so is it the deeper pullback or are we just going back to the top? Let's come to the bigger picture here now, right? This is the big picture, right? We're going down. Very nice. We kind of make this drop already. So can we make a bigger consolidation here and then drop? I think that's possible. If it makes a bigger consolidation, that would be a bigger sell. Can it actually reverse from this point and go back up like that? Also possible, right? So since both of those are possible, we check to see if we have divergence. Nope. So the downside has an advantage than the upside, right? It doesn't mean anything, but it has an advantage, which means there's still momentum to the downside. And that means any sell setup you get, you take, right? If we get a sell setup here today, making a flag, we can go with that trade. If they consolidate for a bigger correction, we'll sell it. We might even get a few buys. So the sell still seems possible. You will do the same here and you'll decide that. So it's the same setup, same everything. We broke the low also, did we? Well, we broke the low of this one. So if you're looking at this pattern here, right, we're looking at this here as a 1, 2, 3. I think we could make an argument that we finished that. What is this line? Let me see what this line came from. Come on. Ah, that was this buy. Take it off. That's an old one. We've taken up. So right now, I think this pattern is this. I could be wrong about that because we could put it like this as well. We can make an argument for this, or you can make an argument for a triangular looking pattern. So there are a number of patterns you could make an argument for there, right? This one could be a separate one on its own. It has nothing to do with this. Or if this is the smaller version, and you would only notice after the fact, right? Like you trade as we are trading, we're buying and selling, but for the bigger analysis, when you have something like this and 3 possibilities exist, which means this flat, this is part of this one, and then they go back up, or that. Well, my traders, you would know what to do, right? We'll go in the trading room, we'll combine them, we'll break them up, we'll figure out which one is the most likely one to happen, right? So it's a sell setup, it's coming down still. It's no divergence, so more downside is possible, which means within this range, we can still look for sell setups. Any consolidation here would be sell. Go to the 1 hour. Where we're kind of going up a little, is that just a consolidation possible? If it stays here as a flat, or even if it comes deeper, go back up, make a flat, sell. If you get a small flag here, go for the sell. It might not go, it might still stop here and then stop here, and then it might go down slowly, right? If you get a flag here, you go for the sell. It goes slowly, take it off because it's going to go back up, you get a flat to sell. You know the rules. And the same for NASDAQ. We don't have to go through it, right? Pretty much the same thing. And then DAX. DAX is pretty much going sideways too, but the sideways and DAX looks more as a B wave, look more like a correction for upside. Remember we said that when we were looking at these drops, right? I think this could drop one more here and then go back up again. We're in this one. This would probably come back and break this stuff. Now, can it do this and do this and do this? Remember when this was dropping, what I said, they can do this and drop. They can do this and drop. They can do this and drop. Do this for a while and then go back up, make a flat, a running flat even, and then drop. So we're looking for a sell here. Go back to the 1 hour, go to the 15 minutes, find the sell setup, take the trade, right? Which means you're looking for that trade already. See this trade here? That was a good trade. This is a good trade. I think I showed you this is a good trade. I did this like when this was coming down, we did it on this one and we did it on the previous one. And when it was going up, I was saying, look for this up and then sell. So look for a sell setup. Pretty easy. Take this out. This was when it was here, if this was going to drop, right? But now that it's there, you look for a sell setup from here, which means if you're my trader, you're already in that trade. And Nifty. this is where you want to get really, really careful. It could go lower, but you have to be very cautious. Once you break these lows, you got to be cautious, because this pretty much could come a little more here, but then it could go back up. You could also do this and drop and do this and drop, just like DAX is doing. But this pattern is slightly different, so this will probably take off. So keep your eyes on them, watch what they're doing, and understand what the patterns are likely going to do. Once we break this low, once this low is broken, any consolidation here that is big will be the downside, because we will go with this flat as the B wave of a down move and not the B wave of a possible up move. So this would be like 1, 2, and a big 3 rather than 1, 2, 3 and go back up. But that would be only under here. We'll decide that, right? We can decide that now. Hope you guys enjoy this. It's very short. I think it's pretty good. So you'll have to let me know what you think about it. Go on YouTube, make your comments, share it. Thank you very much.